Hello, hello, hello. Let's make sure everything's going. Get my earbuds on. Just make sure. Test, test, test. Let me text a few folks here. Hello, hello, hello. Let's make sure everything's going. Get my earbuds on. Just make sure. Test, test. Okay, looks like we got everything up and rolling. Let's get the video started and get this jam session rolling. Okay, let's go turn that off. Hey everybody, how's everybody doing tonight? Over here where I'm at in Pennsylvania, it is currently 11:33 p.m. East Coast time. Uh, I'm just curious where everybody's from. I know a few folks are still jumping on. Ronnie, where are you from? Or Diego? Or Barat? Just write down in the chat where you're from. I'd love to see where everybody's coming in from. What parts of the world, what parts of the U.S., where is everybody from? So drop a quick comment in there. Colombia, awesome, awesome, awesome. India, fantastic. California, fantastic. I really appreciate everybody taking the time out of your busy day to sort of hang out with me today. We're doing something a little bit different. We usually see a lot of things online. We're using Storyboard Pro, we're using Photoshop, and other tools out there. And I'm like, hey, listen, guys, let's go old school. Let's just get all of our pens, let's get our pencils, whatever writing implement you have, pull that equipment out. Pull out your binder paper, notebook, sketch pad, whatever. Because when you're talking about the art of storytelling, some of the greatest stories and story artists have written out their storyboards on a napkin. So they're sitting at a restaurant and they're sitting there doodling away on a napkin, and coming up with all their brainstorm ideas. And I thought it would be a great session, and it looks like a few of you have the same thinking too. And Ronnie, thanks for jumping on the call tonight. I know you made some time, to hang out with me tonight. Ronnie also said about traditional is fun to watch. I'm excited for the stream. That's great. I'm excited to do this. I've been trying and kicking around different ideas of how to sort of teach or share. And I see Diego's working while we're going through the live broadcast too. And Barat, I hope you have some equipment with you, and whoever else is on. If you're joining the chat, go ahead, drop a line real quick. I'd love to see who's on the chat and whoever's in there that's joining us today. Well, let me first start off introductions first. My name is Paul Angeli. I'm a storyboard artist. I usually focus on live action in terms of what I'm doing, but I've done all different storyboards for comics, music videos, advertisements, video games, those type of things. And my sort of specialty is live action now, even though I've had a history having been an animator on quite a few projects in the past. I always go back to school. Hey Maria, how you doing? Welcome to the live chat. So for the folks joining us, I really, again, appreciate your time joining us today. If you're catching this on the replay, thank you so much for watching the replay. I think we have a great little evening planned for all of us tonight. Galcaf, hello, how you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for joining the chat, and thanks for joining the live stream. So right now we've done a whole series of 6 episodes so far on our live streams. And if you think about it, if you go back, and the way I'm trying to structure sort of, I don't know if you want to call this a training tutorial or just experimentation or exploring with each other about the art of visual storytelling through storyboarding. And so we've talked about so many different things. We've talked about the simplifying of your characters for storyboards. We've talked about the shots, all of your photography shots, camera shots. We've talked about camera movement. We've talked about composition. What makes a great shot? What makes you to want to look into that image and tell some story? And I think the last episode we had back on Tuesday was about, how do we move the camera? How do we, to give subtext. I've had quite a few conversations with people about the difference between storyboarding and comic books. Storyboarding, you're telling your story shot by shot by shot. Each of those shots make a scene. Each of those scenes make a sequence. And then it makes a film that we all get to watch and enjoy. So on Tuesday we were talking about moving that camera. How does that camera move? Whether it's a pan, on its axis, or is it a static shot, that's in that shot? Is that a tilt? Is it going up and down, left, right? Is the camera following the direction of what we're doing? And we use a lot of tools, like we said, we use a lot of tech tools, Photoshop, Storyboard Pro, just all different types of pieces of software there to tell those stories, and we gave us a lot of tools. But today, like I said, we're going to go old school, and we're going to just use some basic tools, because a lot of folks, sometimes they can't afford all these fancy tools and computer systems and things like that. So if we can just get a pen and be able to draw with one little pen and create the same interaction with the boards. So let me scoot over here. Let's get my area sort of organized here. I was just sort of having fun dumping all the pens out. I got to go open a window if I'm going to use all these Sharpies so I don't pass out while we're on the live session here, or get an extreme headache with all the fumes from Sharpies. I have different pens that I use, and at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what you're using. I know a lot of things are going on, like Inktober is going on, so you got a lot of folks drawing ink drawings, in terms of what they're doing. We had recently over here in the East Coast, we had the New York Comic-Con that just came up, and I know a lot of you good folks are getting ready for Lightbox in Southern California. So that's a lot of exciting things coming down the road. And you can see sort of some of the sketches I was playing around. I don't know if you guys caught the little YouTube short or on my Instagram feed of me just inking this piece that was on that shot yesterday, and all it was just my scribbles and some notes on storyboards as I was working over. Ronnie says, "Hey, my desk looks just like yours, Paul. Hey, Paul, you're..." yeah. My wife is always telling me, "Hey, clean up your office. Keep it nice and tight and clean." And I usually, as a creative person, I usually get stuff everywhere, and in my own sense, I know where everything is. So, but let's get on to our topic, folks. Let's get going on this old school system of what we're trying to do, or what we AKA call it just traditional art in terms of what we're doing. You can still tell fantastic stories, and if these are all the tools that you have, use these tools. Tell stories. I use these tools all the time. If you go through my feed, I'm just using markers, pens, whatever I can get my hand on. I'm not using any fancy, marker sets. Yeah, of course I have my Copic markers, or Copic, or however they call it. My fancy monitors and my Sakura brushes. And I have all that stuff too. But when I'm just storyboarding, I'm just there to try to tell a story. I'm there to create an image. I'm there to try to move one frame to the next frame. And we were talking about the difference between storyboards and comics. With a storyboard, we're trying to go from frame to frame for frame. We're trying to go from this frame to this frame to this frame to this frame. And when you're doing a comic book or something like that, what you're trying to do is you're trying to go from this panel to this panel. So from this panel to this panel, and then maybe you're going to the big splash underneath it. And what ends up happening is the magic in storytelling with comics is happening in that gutter. So this spot right there is where all the magic is happening, and that's where you as the reader of a comic book are getting the subtext. Your brain is thinking about what is going to happen, or what happened between those two shots, and your brain is making up what's the difference. And so you see a lot of good comic book artists, and some of them are absolutely fantastic storytellers, and you as the reader are getting involved with that comic as you're going through. But with storyboarding for film, we need to show these shots. We need to show the subtext, the emotion, in that shot of what we're trying to say, because there is no gutter. So, and you're going from shot to shot to shot, 24 frames a second, on either digital or celluloid film, and that's where the magic for storyboarding works, and it is different, between a storyboard shot and a comic book panel, frame versus panel, in terms of what we're doing, and that's where the magic's happening. That's the different magics between the different styles of media or the medium itself. So going on, we did ask a quick, and the reason why I came up with this particular live stream is we were talking about last Tuesday. I was asking everybody, hey, listen, I'd like to see some drawing and stuff like that. So this makes it a little bit more hands-on, and I know Ronnie's been doing it. I don't know if you folks have gotten to see Ronnie's Instagram feed yet, but there's some great work coming out of Ronnie. I'm just so impressed at the end of every one of our episodes. Ronnie's putting up some of the work and studies, and that's great to see. So Ronnie, keep it coming. That's looking good, and I'm glad you're learning a lot and taking away a lot from these live streams. So thanks so much. So let's break down. I'm going to sort of move some of these things out of the way, and just have all sorts of drawings I've been doing here and ideas and stuff that we can talk about tonight, because we're going to try to tell a little bit of a story. So, so if you're storyboarding, just start with a blank piece of paper right here. So if you're boarding, you could do it all different ways. You have a blank piece of paper, and I know a lot of people are talking about your aspect ratios. We talked about the difference between a portrait painting of something like the Mona Lisa to something that's a landscape, horizontal type of painting. And, when I'm storyboarding and thumbnailing, I'm not sitting there with a ruler and all this jazz, and I'm sitting there, drawing each of my frames and perfectly measuring them out, and that they're all the correct, I'm not doing that. When I'm thumbnailing and I'm storyboarding, I just want to keep things simple, and because I'm about telling the story. I'm not sitting there worrying about how complicated my picture boxes and things like that. In Photoshop, in programs like Photoshop, I have it already pre-done, so I just pop them in when I'm ready to go and knock that stuff out. But you just need to sit there and just get your bounding box, get your frames going in terms of what you're doing, and just draw your boxes out. I think it's always good. In the past, I had one of my teachers in the past when I was back in the glory days of college, and I was taking an art class, and the professor always, the instructor of the class always was having us do our drawings and doing our paintings within a frame, and we always thought that way too. So just a couple hacks and tricks I'm going to share with you is something like this. Just create it, and if that doesn't work for you, another thing you can do is when you're sharing storyboards. I know a lot of people will do a lot of storyboards, and I'll see sometimes you'll see somebody with a page, and I'll be looking at somebody's portfolio and stuff, and there's like all these pictures or these picture frames, and it just goes on and on and on and on, and I'm just like, holy smoke. So you're doing all this intricate work creating all these frames. Okay, and some of these folks use this as their portfolio. Well, I can understand if you're doing like a little picture or something, or on like I'm showing the thumbnails, and it's just sort of a light grayscale. So, but some people are really doing all their intricate stuff, and this goes to there, and that goes to there, and that goes to there, and over here, and I'm just like, you're doing all that work, but we don't really get to see your work. All I see is this jumbled up area of images, and so it's always been taught to me, and in my processes, let's just say we're looking at a horizontal page of your portfolio. Um, I sort of like to see it sort of, in a sense, six up. You know, that's all I want to see. Okay, that's all I want to see. You know, it gives me time to slow down, look at your image quality, look at your draftsmanship, look at your perspective, look at all those different things as I'm going through. If I see something like this, I'm like, whoa, that really blows me away. And there's not a whole heck of a lot of detail that you can put. Not that you want a ton of detail, but enough to you know, and if you're looking at that, you're like, what is that? Is that a turtle? Is that a human? What is that? So when you're using a six up type sheet, that's a great idea when you're storyboarding. I usually work like that, so I'll have binders filled with all these images and stuff for what we're doing. And then also a couple of things, you want to number all of your frames, so because you want to tell me where's my eye supposed to go. You know, how am I watching through what frames next? You know, maybe sometimes we were talking about moving the camera. You know, maybe I might add an extra bounding box, you know, and this is a tilt, you know, here. And so I'm trying to show you this area, but there's 3 frames and it's a tilt in that shot. The other thing is too is don't forget to put your, you know, so say this is a portfolio piece now and you're trying to show it to a potential client or a potential employer, or somebody's hiring you. Make sure you got your name and your address, or if it's one of your files you're sending over, you know, besides everything else, I want to know what your name is. I want to see your phone number. I want to see your email address. I want to see maybe a link to your website or your Instagram account so I can see more work if I'm interested. But anyways, those are some quick tips over here. A couple other things too that came to mind before we start drawing, just to give you guys some great some hacks, some storyboard fun hacks that I got to pay my life with, but I give it to you for free. Okay, I know there's quite a few people out there with all different styles, you know, in terms of what they're doing, and certain artists out there that I'll see. I know one in particular, Robert Valley, fantastic board artist, fantastic character creator. You know, I first started seeing Robert Valley's work in the MTV show on that Liquid Television back in the 90s called Aeon Flux, and that was a show created by Peter Chung. And I remember Robert, you know, just fantastic storyboards and an intricate style of his work. You've probably seen his work. I know he did a Tron animated series, did a lot of work for the animated Riddick series. You've seen his work on video games, or you know, through the Beatles, or you know, and things like that. So he has a very angular style in terms of the way he's working, and beautiful women, you know, stuff like that. So he'll have just interesting stuff that he's doing, and it's great. And but what the point was I know he works really small. You know, I don't know if it's the size of a quarter or whatever. And when he's working the size like this. And I know he does a lot with mechanical pencil and stuff like that. And so I don't have a lead in my pencil here. Let's just grab a pencil here. And he's just working really small. And if that's the size of his storyboard frame, you know, he's keeping every little detail in there. And he, you know, and I guess, you know, it's interesting about this because this theory of thinking keeps it really, it gets you to the exact detail. And I think that's why it works so small, is because you can't add a lot of clutter. You can't add a lot of garbage in there. You've got to get straight to the point. What's the shot? What are you trying to do? So if I put this up to the camera a little bit, you can sort of, oops, there we go. You can see a little bit. And that's just the size of a quarter, which is 25 cents here in the United States. It's one of the regular used coins over here. And so my guess is what Robert's doing is just getting all the fluff out, getting to the exact point. And as he's going, if you think about it, he's got his his next shot or whatever he's doing. There's no filler. It's right to the heart. If it's going to be a close up of a woman smiling, he's going to have that woman smiling, and it's right there. You know, I mean, there's no fluff around it. You know what I mean? So he keeps it really simple, and he does do those panels like that. But that's his style, and that's the way he works, and that's a great way to work. Another way to work too is a lot of people use sketchbooks, and whether it be any type of sketchbook, I'm always recommending keep a sketchbook with you. You're always drawing all the time, and what I've always talked about my sketchbooks. I've got a ton of them here, and just see what I have down here. I got a ton of sketchbooks that I fill these things up like candy. Let me see, and just different. Let me see here what I got in here. And it's just, and you're just practicing, you know what I mean? These are some more of my comic book, or excuse me, cartoony style drawings and things like that I've done over the years. What else do I have in here? Here's perfect for Halloween. This is all zombies. Just all different stuff in here. What else do I have? Looking, but it's like keep that sketchbook, and I like to keep the stuff, even if I'm doing some dogs or whatever it might be. What else do I have? Minotaurs. Let's see what else I have. Had a bunch of martial art warriors and things like that. So keep these books, because I use them from time to time to reference and remember what I was doing and stuff, and how I was drawing at that time. So keep those sketchbooks. But when it comes to storyboards, have those sketchbooks around you, and you could draw your bounding box in here and do those drawings. And another idea that you could do is let me go grab over here. Got all sorts of business cards here. And just grab a business card, and you can do the business cards on there and just trace the outline of a business card. Okay, this is a little bit smaller, notebook here that you can do, or if you have a bigger one, you can get that notebook and have it in there, and then just simply go in there and just trace your outline. Boom, 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 boom. Do it again. And now you have your storyboards that you can take anywhere with you. You're sitting there at your coffee shop. You're sitting there at home. You're sitting there on the bus, the train station. And you can sit there and you can storyboard. So here's a few different ideas. The other thing is, so there you go, and you got all your bounding boxes ready to go, and just go ahead and do your drawings. And so I hope reach out to me on the chat. Let me know if these are cool ideas, if you've seen these before, or something that you could use in the future. But these are just sort of tips and hacks. The other one too, you could do the same type of thing. I've done this many times in the past where I'll grab a Post-it note. Okay, so and what I'll do with the Post-it note is I'll sit there and I'll just do the same exact thing I just did with the business card, and then trace the outline of a Post-it note, and then I'll leave my Post-it note on the side here so I know where I left off in my sketchbook in terms of what we're doing. So Ronnie was just saying, hey, listen, I want to see more of your sketches. Well, cool. I've had a lot of people reach out and say, hey, Paulie, why don't you put together a book of your sketches or something like that? We'd love to buy it. So if that's something you might be interested in, maybe I might do that, or share some stuff. Besides, I've been drawing for many, many years, and I have so much artwork. I have boxes and boxes and sketchbooks and sketchbooks of work I've done over the years. So if that might be something you want to see, drop it in the chat, let me know. And I know I've had quite a few people reach out to me already saying, hey, Paul, when are you going to have a sketchbook? I'd love to buy one. So anyways, if that's a good idea, let me know. Oh, Diego is asking for a sketchbook tour. Yeah, that'd be fun. Maybe in one of the future videos we can get something knocked out and have some fun with it. So it's crazy on how much artwork my wife is always on my back all the time. Clean up, throw away some of your work, and I'm like, I can't throw it away. You know, you spend so many years and years and years of drawing, so it's pretty cool. So I appreciate all the interest and stuff, guys. But hopefully those ideas help you. Remember, get that sketchbook going and draw like crazy. Anyway, there's some ideas. If those help you, yell it out in the chat. So let's get into some drawing and do some stuff here. So this was that image I was doing yesterday, and I was pretty much, I'm going to show you the basic tools that I was using. Nothing fancy, guys. Thanks, Bharat, Ronnie. I know you guys are interested, so that's cool. That's great for the feedback. I really appreciate that. And if you're catching this on the replay, just shout it out. Drop a text line. I really appreciate it. You know, like this live stream. Shoot me a little quick message in chat. I've been getting back to everybody who's been taking the time to get to me, or reach out to me and DM me on my Instagram handle there. I really appreciate it. It just lets me know that you like what you see. For the folks that are joining me right now, please shout this out. This is a budding YouTube channel. I'm trying to create some relationships with you good folks. I'm trying to provide you some value in terms of sort of my processes and my sort of journey, learning about this craft and being able to do what I do today. So subscribe. I really appreciate that. It helps to grow this channel. It helps me keep everything going. And, on the side as I'm doing this and trying to help everybody out, please share this with your friends, your other artistic and creative friends, because I think you could use what we're talking about when we're talking about drawing or storyboarding. You can use this for comics, video games, your own stories, illustrations, your own storybooks, whatever your creative idea. I think visual storytelling is always key. Even though our topic and our main focus is storyboarding, I think you could use these tips and tools. Even if you say, "Hey, I want to be the next Spielberg," these are all tools. And when we're talking about camera shots and camera movement, staging, blocking, these are all the elements. And like I've told you before, I'm trying to help you build a foundation of these learnings and teachings, so you can put this into your work and rock and roll. There's plenty of room for everybody to be a story artist. I know that there's a huge strike going on right now in American film studios right now, and the actors are all on strike. The writers just trying to finish up their stuff. But once all this stuff gets figured out, we're going to be back in action again, working on the latest and greatest films and feature animation and cartoons and everything else. So now's your time to prepare and get ready. So be ready for that point when that hits. So let's get into our storyboarding here. I had some notes here I was doing and stuff. So, and I was trying to debate if we wanted to just do a little bit of character design here and then also get into some storytelling. I was putting together some thoughts and sketches, and you can sort of see where I'm sort of going. It's hard to see it like this, but when I'm sort of thumbnailing and sketching things out, it is very simple. And in terms of what I'm doing, and the only other thing that when I'm storyboard, when I'm thumbnailing, is I use just I was showing my tools. This is just a simple Bic pen right here that I'm using to draw all this artwork. It's nothing fancy. And then I got a Sharpie. That's it. And I'm doing that to drop a couple tones on stuff and do that. And I'm just, just dropping some blacks down. I could get a little bit more complicated and draw some sort of grayscale value on there and to see what pops out. But say something like this shot right here, what I'll do is I have whatever it might be here. If that's too small, I'll just get my big marker and just block out what that is in the shot, and then the focus is that character in the middle. Where'd that other pen go? I just had it. Here it is. and I'll just knock it out in a couple colors. You know, my main focus is this character right here. So like we were talking about with colors, I'm just going to knock it out real quick, and then maybe I'll just get a little bit of extra, you know, highlight on him to show the character right here. And that's all I'm doing in my thumbnail, my thinking. Maybe he's got a torch or something like that. And that torch is right there. So that gives you an idea of what we're doing and how we're doing it. You know, like right here I have some sort of creature or monster. I'll sketch it all out, and then I'll just come in with my marker and just add a little bit of drop shadows, those type of things as I'm drawing to get that done. I'm just trying to give the essence of what's going on in the shot. How is this working? And it gets you an idea of how it is. And this is all I'm doing. I'm not doing anything fancy. You can see it sort of popping out now, folks. Is now I'm just working on that creature and just popping that out, or whatever the sequence might be. So I don't. The other thing I do too is when I'm drawing, and get some paper here. When I'm drawing, I'll give you a couple more quick little tips, friends. Okay, one of the reasons why I don't use a pencil a lot, I do use pencils, so I'm not a person that says I never use pencils, but I try not to use pencils when I'm thumbnailing, just for the fact that you can get away with noodling too much. So in our first lesson, we were talking about how to draw a woman and everything. So I'll sit there and let's just say I'm just drawing a female here, and get her in here. Let's draw her eyes. Hopefully you can see this on camera as I'm doing it. Let's just say I'm drawing a female character, okay? Give her some short hair or whatever. Okay, so say we're drawing this character, but what I find is if you're using a pencil, I'll start to noodle this too quick, you know, and I'll be playing around with the pencil too much, you know what I mean? And in terms of what I'm doing, we're going quick, but it's you can noodle this too much. And I'm having, you know, fun with it, but it's like it's just too much in terms of what we're doing or whatever. And you're drawing your storyboard, and I think pencils will take too long. And if you think about each stroke I'm putting down, it's just taking me longer and longer to do that drawing. And yeah, I have some cheats where I'll hold, like when you're learning fine art and you're holding the pencil like this, and I'll just get some color down real quick or something. But what I find is that there's just too much noodling. You're playing around. How long did it take me just to do this drawing? I need to be able to go bam, 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 be done, and go on to the next panel, you know? Because if I'm doing let's say, for example, I'm doing some nice beat boards or a commercial or something like that. I'm anywhere from 20 to 40 shots that I'm drawing. Say I'm doing feature work or something like that, and I'm working on this sequence or whatever for a scene, and I'm going to be drawing hundreds of boards. I don't have time for this. This is just too time consuming. You know, I've tried different ways too, and you can, where it's like, you know, because we can sit there and draw and do all your lines and all this stuff, and then come back in. And I try not to do that stuff either, where I'm just wasting too much time. This is a great for fine art process, and if I'm going to sell a painting or a final illustration or that comic book page or whatever like that. But I find that when you're using a pen, let's leave that right here, so you can see it. Say we got something like that, and I'm going to do the same drawing. I can cut down that time, right? So if I'm just drawing my nose, boom, there's my nose. Let's just say I got my mouth there. I have my eyes, even if I'm just making it simple. You know, I'm just keeping it simple. And it's there, and it's pretty much, I'm just blocking in the colors, you know, and I'm just trying to keep it simple in terms of what I'm doing. And if I need to, I can just come in, and sometimes if I'm focusing on a shot, I'll just come in and grab my marker and just get that color down. You can create some great shots just like this, and it's just even simpler in terms, or I'll use my digital system to create that shot, you know, and you know, you can keep it going like that. Okay, and then boom, there's my frame, okay, or whatever it might be. So I try to use markers. It fills more space. The other thing with a marker too is you're dedicated to your line. You know, if I'm going back over here, I can go grab my eraser, and then, okay, and this is what I was talking about with noodling. Like I can go back over here and like, oh, her eyes aren't right. I need to have sexier eyes or whatever type of thing. And you're sitting there erasing all this stuff, and then I want to make her eyes really big. She's shocked or whatever, and I'm sitting there wasting all this time. With that, and because I'm doing all this extra work, when you're working with a pen, you know, you're committed. Once you draw that line down, you're done. You're moving on to the next drawing, and so it makes you have to be a little bit more have your conscience going of going. Okay, I'm going to lay this line. You're more methodical, going. I'm going to lay this line down. Let's just say I'm drawing the same shocked look, right? And I have that shock here. I have to lay that line down because I can't go back and correct that line. It is there, and you're sort of committed to what you're doing. So you have to know how to draw. You have to get those things done. And but I don't know. Let me know in the chat if this is something that you already do. You know about this already, or you're already practicing this with your own drawing skills. But this is something that you know, it's going to cut down on time for you. You're going to get exactly what you need with a shot. Because the other thing too, and not to be rude about our drawing, but if I'm doing all these hundreds of drawings for a feature or whatever like that, I have to be able just to go, okay, the shot's done. They didn't like the shot. It's gone, and we have to do it over again. So you have to be ready for that too. These are disposable images that we're creating for storyboarding, and you're working with your director, you're working with maybe your head of story, or whoever it is, and these drawings need to be disposable. I can't sit there and go, oh, this is my favorite drawing in the whole world. Oh my God, it was so, created so wonderfully, and I'm gonna frame it and all this stuff. When you're storyboarding, you're trying to tell a story. If this shot doesn't tell the story, this shot gets cut. Go on to the next one. And there's a lot of board artists out there that have done some fantastic work out there, and unfortunately it hit the cutting room floor. The shot was never taken on film, and that's sort of the process for that. So those are all great things there. So don't fall in love with your drawings. If you're doing other pieces of artwork, go ahead, fall in love with them. Go sell them. Go sell that painting. Go sell that pencil drawing or whatever. That Bob Ross type of landscape, whatever you got there. But when you're storyboarding, our whole point is to push story. We're here to tell that story, invoke the viewer's emotion, and tell that story. So let's have some fun now. Any questions? Throw them into the chat real quick. I'll take a second here just to see how we're doing. Cool. A lot of interest in the sketchbook. Cool. I'm really happy. Thanks for everybody doing that. Wow, that's awesome. If you're catching it on the replay, please drop me a line in the notes there. Ronnie was just saying, yeah, I get too attached to my work sometimes. Yeah, I got you. I do too. Like I was telling you earlier, I got all my artwork over my history of doing art, and you know, I always have to get rid of some of that stuff every once in a while. I always watch other artists, and they sit there and they have auctions of their work and stuff, and that might be something down the road I might do, because there's a lot of artists that I follow, and I'm like, okay, and I see them, it's like, hey, you can buy my drawing. A lot of it is just like pencil drawings. You buy my drawing for $10 or whatever, and they clean out their house and they clean out all of their work there. But let's storyboard. Let's get this going. I'm excited. This is a great night, and I appreciate everybody joining me. I did some quick. We were just talking about sketches. I'm gonna put some of the sketches up, that some thumbnails before we sat down tonight to chit chat. So I'm sitting there culminating a sort of a sequence, or you know, in terms of what we're doing. And let's see what else we have here. I was doing some character profiles and some characters here. Have a woman, a gentleman, another woman profile, some action shots. You know, I was having fun with this sort of skull character. It was sort of Halloween, and I was like, well, hey, that's sort of cool. What can we do with that? You saw what I was doing the other day. I got a female, you know how I always draw, and I always put in my big earrings in there. So we got some characters in here. Just thoughts I had as I was doing stuff, you know, sort of a gunman here. I had this cool female character that was over here. I thought she was pretty slick. Let's get rid of this so this doesn't get... I just thought she had a really cool personality. Just draw her in a little bit. I thought she was really cool. She had that Todd McFarlane crazy hair on there. Just having some fun here. But anyway, you get the idea. She had a dress here. Cool. With that, you saw the other shot we were doing here, and then I had some other characters, men, women, and other characters. So let's board on. Okay, let's get some boarding going. Okay, so let's see how we're going to do this. Okay. So let's tell a little story. We're going to make this up on the fly. I am not prepared in any way of doing it. We're going to sort of play with this idea. When you're storyboarding, and you're learning how to do this craft. I don't know if any of you folks have watched any movies lately, but watch your movies. There's a lot to learn, and one of the things I do is I just sort of demystify what I'm watching. You know, let's just say I was watching what was it, the movie Renfield, and one of the great storyboard artists that I haven't met him personally, but I love his work, is Heiko, and I was looking at his storyboard work that he was putting on Instagram and on Frame Dump. And I was like, I gotta watch this Renfield movie. My youngest son was like, hey Dad, check that out and take a look at this crazy movie. So and it's interesting. I love seeing my friends out there and people that I'll eventually get to meet one of these days in person and see their work out there. And it's always a treat to see their work in action, and what was the shot for the storyboard, and then what was the final, what did the director and the cinematographer catch for their sequence, and some of them are always sometimes they're always right on the money, and other times they're not on the money and they change it up a little bit, but it gives the basic direction of where that shot could take, and unfortunately there's times that that shot never made it into the film at all. So and that's too bad at times. It's a lot of work and effort. But as I tell you before, and like I said before, it's about telling the story. And if it's not pertinent to the storyline or the subcontext of what you're trying to do, that shot gets cut out. But let's go ahead. Let's start boarding. Are you guys boarding? Drop it in the chat. Are you drawing with me? You got your pens ready? Let's go. Okay. So I was sort of playing around with an idea of a sort of an adventure type of thing, but it's a little bit of horror. Halloween is on the 31st this month. I was thinking a little bit of horror, a little bit of creature work here, and I was thinking of a group of explorers. So remember, when we start off our storyboards, we are going to start with that establishing shot. Okay, and like we talked about before, that establishing shot could be an extreme wide angle, or that shot could be just a wide angle. Extreme wide angle is where we're really focused on that environment. We want to see the environment. We're world building. Cool. Bharat is drawing with me. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah. If you get a chance, Bharat, if you got an Instagram handle, send me a DM. I'd love to see you, or tag me in your post if you're on Instagram. I'd love to see your work and stuff. So that's exciting. Thank you so much. And Galcaf, cool. I'm drawing as well. Cool. Awesome. Yeah. Just drop my my handle from Instagram into your so I think you use the @ symbol and then put my handle on there, and you'll see it when I leave the end screen at the end of the broadcast here. But I'd love to see your artwork. I know I've seen quite a few pieces of Ronnie's. Excellent work, and it just makes me really happy that you guys are taking the time to learn, and it makes me feel good that I'm giving back and helping you out, and that's awesome, and I'm excited to see your guys' work. So okay, so we got our establishing shot. This is either like I was saying, the extreme wide angle shot is the storytelling mechanism we're trying to do. That is, we're trying to give you the environment. We're trying to we're trying to introduce you to that environment. What's the overall setting? You're talking Lord of the Rings. We're looking at Mordor or whatever, or the castle systems and things like that. So, excuse me. Let's go ahead and sort of, what are we looking at here? I'm going to start this establishing shot, and I'm just sort of, one thing that if you want to, we can talk about it, is about perspective. And I'm not going to go into it tonight. Let's just have some fun drawing. But if that's something you want to talk about, or that's one of those things, it's usually, you need to have a sense of strong perspective in terms of how you're drawing and what you're drawing. And so if that's something you want to work on, shoot me a quick chat text here, or privately hook up with me or whatever, if that's something that you might want to do. We might want to do a live stream on, is about perspective. A lot of people always have the same things, and I think we talked about trying the human head, males, females, full body, dynamic motion, to perspective, all those things. So if that's something you want to do, just drop me a comment, let me know, and we can sort of go from there. Okay, so let's just say we have this, our plane here, our horizon line is about right there, and I've seen all different theories too, where if you're starting from behind as you're working forward, the lines go from thin to thicker. So if you're going closer to the camera, the thicker the line. But for today, we're just trying to knock out this shot. Okay, so let's pull in some perspective here. We have our point perspective. It's sort of coming out. We're sort of going this way here, and let's just say there's some sort of, as I'm thinking, I'm just thinking all around, you know, what's going on in this shot. What am I trying to tell the story? Every shot that we're drawing, we want it to tell some sort of story. You know, we're doing that through. Okay, so it looks like we got a lot of things there on perspective. So Maria says, "Yeah, Paulie, get it going on." Galkef says would be awesome. Cool. Okay, so we'll do that. I just wanted to. I'll make a note. Write that down. Perspective. Cool. We'll give that a little. We'll give that a try and talk about those things. Okay, so we sort of had our horizon line that's back over here. We're going forward to the camera. You know what I'm going to do is this is like, let's just say our team. We have a team of explorers, and they're going into some sort of ruins or some sort of cave system. I'm not using any reference material. We're just going out of our brains right now and just sort of having fun with this. So how would I draw this? Okay, so I got that going there. Maybe I have some sort of pillar, you know, system. There's a pillar there. Okay, maybe over here, I might, maybe there's some sort of statue or something, you know, some sort of guardian statue, and the guardian statue is right here, and they're sort of old and falling apart, but we have those statues on there. Okay, so we're gonna get that statue. We're gonna add a little bit of black to the back of that statue as it's there. It's falling apart, it's decaying. It used to be grand at some point in time. Maybe we have another statue over here, same type of statue. And I'm just keeping it really simple. I'm keeping it fluid, and maybe it's on some sort of pedestal that's here. Cool, I'm glad you like the setup there. That's cool. So let's just say there's a statue here, a statue here. Got a little bit of light. This is not the focal point, but we got that. We got some statues there. And then let's just say we're coming on here. We're going to make some sort of, we'll add some sort of Greek temple type of system here as we're going on. Okay. Maybe there's some fountains or something, or fire or something on there. Maybe there's some sort of staircase system or something that goes down here, or some sort of pool system. And we're just knocking this stuff out. We're just, here's the chambers. We're just making it simple, 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 guys. Okay, we're just talking about these chamber systems here. I'm just knocking this stuff out quick. Okay, and let's just say we have our 3 characters coming into the shot and stuff, and let's just say, and we're using our perspective. This is the team coming in here. We're seeing that team come into the shot, okay? So they're coming this way into the shot. So they got their backpacks on, whatever they might have, and they're coming into the shot. And maybe there's some light behind them, so they're casting the shadow as they're walking into the shot. So that's our establishing shot of what we're trying to do, okay? So let's explore this environment a little bit in terms of what we're doing here, and maybe the next shot we do. We'll drop that down, and we're going to go behind one of the characters in terms of what we're doing here. So we're going to knock out these pillar systems here, and we're behind. And we talked about our mapping and stuff of this room, and maybe that mapping that we were talking about is just a box. You know, it's a rectangle that they're walking through. And let's just say one of these characters has a flame or something like that, and maybe we have that character. We're doing it now. We're not necessarily the master shot, but we're still doing a wide shot because we want to show that environment. And maybe we have that character here. And remember, we're going to keep this simple. And this character is going to have the flame going on. They have their backpack. Maybe there's some sort of room up here. Coming here. Maybe he's going up some steps. Like I said, these aren't expert drawings or anything. We're just sort of setting up the world in terms of what we're doing. Maybe there's flames or something like this and some sort of pedestals here or something like that. And the flames are going up into the air. You know, we have the other characters that were behind our character here. So we're going to show them in a second too. Maybe they have their flames coming out. Maybe we're staggering them, so there's one here, and maybe the third person is right here. Okay, so how do we show that? Okay, so as they're getting closer to us, here's one character. He has his backpack on. Okay, he's right there. You have the other character right here. They're right there. You know, maybe we have that column that's back over here. They're walking past the other column right there. And maybe we want to show that smoke and have that pop out. So what we'll do is we'll just knock that out real quick. We'll show that character right here because we want our eye to be focused right there. We could do something like that. Hopefully you can see this okay. Okay, so there's the... Oh, there's Eric. Hey, Eric, how you doing? Hey, folks, I know we got everybody joining. We have Eric Yamamoto in the house. If you haven't checked out his channel, please do give him a check out. He's been doing some great stuff about writing scripts into Storyboard. So, hey, Eric, how's it going? So, do I prefer traditional over digital? I think each has its own perspective. And when I'm sort of coming up with ideas and things like that, I tend to doodle them. I like both aspects. I think when I'm drawing traditionally, I have to be more exact. So I hope that answers your question, Eric. I have to be more exact. I don't have time to noodle. I don't have time to play around. I'm going to go and draw. I have to be committed to my lines. So I tend to work with thicker pens rather than micro pens and things like that, because you can sit there and with a micro pen, just if I got something really small here, it just takes too long. Let me see if I can find it. I got brushes everywhere. Where's my... You know, I could sit there, but the problem is if I'm drawing a character and stuff, I can noodle this. Let's just say I'm drawing the characters with the backpacks and the torches and stuff. I can noodle this too long. It's just taking way too long, you know, in terms of what I'm doing, you know, and I could add too much detail in there. So the same shot would take me forever, and I just tried to just sort of get it done. And if I'm using a bigger, thicker pen at times, the other thing too, what I'll do, Eric, is I'll go, and if there's if this is what the detail is over here, I'll come back in there with my pen and just add the black marks on there and say he was going into that temple. So here's our temple. And I'll just knock it out like that. So it keeps the focus on that detail of where I want the viewer's eye to go. So if I want the viewer's eye to go right there, boom, we're right there. I hope that answers the question. But between digital and there's too many tips and tricks and tools that I could use in Photoshop. I love Photoshop, and I draw in it all the time. If I'm drawing, sometimes what I'll do is I'll draw like this, and I'll scan these or take a picture of them, put them into my Photoshop program, and then play around with them and play sort of like a montage or a cut and paste, and sort of paste them around. So if I have some cool shots that I want to transfer, maybe this this shot at the beginning, establishing shot, is the shot I want to get a little bit better. I'll put that shot in there and sort of go from there. I'll do the same thing if I'm digital. I like both ways. The reason why I draw like this and I continue to draw like this is I just want to be ready to go. So if I'm sitting in a conference room with the director and that's all the time we have, and I don't have a fancy iPad and I don't have all my computer equipment set up, I can sit there with a pad of paper or a notebook or a sketchbook and just sit there and crank out all these drawings right in front of the director, right in front of the client, and go, okay, what do you think? And we can have that brainstorm session, and then I can take those notes back to my drawing table in my home office or wherever I'm at, and then create the storyboards from there. So I think it's a great way that we can do this. But again, Eric, thanks for joining the live stream, and everybody else, again, if you like what you're seeing, please drop a like, a comment, and subscribe. Please don't forget to share this with your other artistic friends and folks that are interested in storyboarding. I appreciate all the support. Okay, let's get on to the next shot. Okay, so we sort of had two shots there, and this particular page. Yeah, right. So Eric was saying there's so much more immediacy with traditional, I find. Creative comes from limitations of the tools. Yeah, great answer. Hey, no problem, brother. I feel the same way. So let's continue on going. Let's get on to the next shot here. Let's tell our story. So we started with our establishing shot. We went to a wide shot, and we could sort of keep going from there. And I'm just sort of making this up as we're going along, friends. So let's just see. Okay, so we got the shot of them, the establishing shot. We got the shot of them going into some sort of chamber. But you know what's funny is we're talking about subtext and storytelling with these drawings. Okay, so we sort of see three characters, but we haven't really introduced them. We could introduce them real quick if we want to see what what the character is. What are they about? What is their thing? Maybe we tell a little bit more about them. So let's do that. How about we hold off on that? Because I have an idea. How about we have, when you're going into a temple, isn't it dark? Isn't it spooky? You're an adventure. Is there monsters? Is there creature? Is there something lurking behind all those pillars? So let's play with that idea. I'm just sort of rolling with this, and sort of we're calling this our jam session drawing night. So let's jam with that a little bit. So as I'm thinking about that, I'm going, what can we do about that? Maybe we might add one more wide shot. Okay, let's add one more wide shot into there. Okay, and we know our wide shot is, we got those characters walking through there. And maybe we just changed the angle. We saw the one guy going into the temple. We have the other ones around them and stuff like that. So let's play around with that. Okay. So let's add one of those pillars here again. Okay. And we want to sort of go like this. Okay. So we're going to sort of drop this in here like this. So we're coming in here, and we had that chamber that he was walking into, right? That big chamber. That guy was walking. There's a pillar there, and just a different angle. He was sort of walking into that chamber here with his torch. He's going in there. He's got the backpack on. He's there. Okay, we had some sort of fire going on right there. We had a character that was behind him, so they're walking up into the steps now. They had a torch too. They're getting closer to what's going on there. Maybe we indicate maybe a character there, and then we had the other character in the background right here. Okay, so we have those characters in here. Maybe they all have torches. Okay, so they're walking, so we're showing that pattern of the torches they're walking through because they're moving. Okay. We had those great hallways and stuff like that. Okay, so we sort of have that sort of made up a little bit there. But let's just say there's something lurking in the shadows, and they're watching. They're hiding behind this pillar that's here, but there's something that's behind that pillar. Okay, but what we're going to do is we're going to black that out. We don't know what that is, but we're going to put that right here. These are just our thumbnails of what we got going on. So we have that pillar here, and that character is going to be cast in the shadow over here. Right there. So something is watching our three explorers. And while our three explorers are trying to go into the cave system there, this is fun. I like doing stuff like this where you're just riffing. You're just having a quick jam session. We're just telling stories. Telling the story. We're making this up as we're going along. You have all that visual knowledge that you've been getting over time, watching films and other things like that. You know, and there's that other pillar over here. So we have that other shot here. Okay, we're not going to noodle this thing to death, but we sort of got the idea of what we're doing. So we have this character right here. We have our three characters here, and here going into the temple, and then all of a sudden there is something or someone lurking over here. And you could do other things like with this shot too, from everything that we've been learning so far about panning or tracking shots. Maybe we extend this shot even longer, and we're taking that shot and we're panning. Okay, maybe we're focused over here in this quadrant here, and we're gonna either do a tracking shot and move that shot so then we land on this creature or whatever this is in the shadows lurking, you know, in terms over here of what this thing is right here. Okay, what the heck is this? It's disturbing the eye. We have a 1, 2, 3 characters over here, and then we got this crazy creature that's over here sitting and lurking by the pillar, watching them. Okay, and you see different things like that. So you know, maybe that something drops, you know what I mean, and they all turn to see what's there. Okay, but let's get one more shot. Let's bring some suspense into this a little bit. Okay, so we got the characters walking, la 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 la. Let's add the next shot in there. Okay, so we have that shot, and maybe this shot is a little bit taller. So we got that pillar, right? So we have that sort of Greek pillar, and we're going to pop that pillar right there, okay? And maybe we're going to see a little bit more of this character. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit more in terms of this character. Maybe that character is over here, and maybe that character. Now you know that that character is something up now. We gave a little bit more on this particular character. It's not human. Okay, so we went from something very human to something that's not human. You know, that's in this. It's got a tail. It's got everything else. We got it hidden in the pillars. Maybe there was another big pillar here to give some balance to the shot. We have our characters, you know, walking up into that temple scene. That system, 1, 2, 3. We can continue that temple system, so we're driving our eye, because our eye isn't focused. We want to see that creature, or maybe we pull back and you know, see that creature there, and we see that going on right there. All the flames and stuff like that, and then let's just say, okay, these are those pillars. They're going up there, going into that scene. This is that creature. Okay, so the creature's over here. Okay, maybe there's something dripping off the creature or whatever. Okay, so we're having fun with this. We're making it sort of spooky. We've created, like I said before, we had our 2 first shots. Okay, we came in, we had an establishing shot here. We have a wide shot over here as we're finding out. And this is the reverse of these guys walking into the temple. And then as we're going in, we have something lurking in the shadows over here. And then as we do another little shot, we sort of, okay, we have this creature we have identified. There's something that's not human in this particular shot. So, and then you could always have something fun. We'll see here. Maybe we don't show anything, and maybe we just we don't show the creature yet. That's like, you sit there and think about, I love the look of the markers. Oh, Diego is just saying, I love the look of the markers when they're close to dry up. Yeah, I guess I got some of those Diego are starting to dry out on me. So it's giving a little bit of texture and grayscale in terms of what we're doing here. So yeah, there you go. Get a shot of that. So okay, so let's just say we got a little bit over here, and let's just like we're not going to make a big deal about this, but we're just going to get, you know, a little bit of this shot here of this creature in its eyes. Okay, so we're gonna see those oogie boogie eyes in there. Okay, We're not going to expose or anything like that of what this creature is or what's going on. We just know there's something not right. Okay, so we have that creature in there. We could use a different color or a black or something to, or I can do the reverse where it was white and then had it all in black. So because we want that creature to be in the shadows. Okay. You know, whatever it might be. So it's in there. We don't really want to see it yet. We just sort of want to, you know, I don't have any gray stuff here. Don't have any grayscale markers. All we're trying to do is show that there's something there. And the eyes are looking at whatever it is. Okay? So right now, and like I always say too, make sure you're numbering these panels for yourself. So panel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we got those all numbered out. Okay, and we've done so far. We've been hanging out for a little bit. We got 5 in the hole right now. So let's continue drawing. So let's go and have some fun. So then what we're looking at, let's go ahead and let's see if I have any other drawings for this thing. Let's go ahead and introduce our characters a little bit, you know, and sort of see who's who, what's going on. So let's look at our explorers here, and let's introduce them a little bit too into the shot here. So let's get our frame. Here's our picture frame. Okay, so let's talk about these characters. Maybe we've got Mr. Rough and Tough here. And then maybe there's another character here that's we're going to focus on our main character. But maybe there's another rough and tough character here. And then maybe we have a female character here. So we'll put her there. Okay. And like I said, they got their torches that they have. The torches are going up. As we're looking. Welcome, Trand. Hello back. I'm glad you could join us. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Okay, so let's have some focusing here. We're sort of introducing our characters, okay? So this is our first shot of looking at these characters as they're looking and peering into the into our scene here, okay? And like we said before, when I'm drawing a man's face, it's usually a square, rectangle. A female is going to be a circle. I sometimes use diamonds, you know, in terms of the females. We're just sort of breaking it down. Let's sort of get him going here. And he's going to be our explorer. And he's going to be looking into that cave system. He's rougher and tougher. So we're going to give him a pronounced chin, give him some high cheekbones, and then real quick, because we're trying to establish him. He's the guy. He's the guy. So maybe he's military too. So we'll give him a little bit of military cut here. Give him that strong neck. He's got the backpack on. got the beard and goatee thing going on here. We could have some fun with him. So he's there, and then I have another male character. We're not going to give him the detail because we want to see what this guy is all about. Okay, he's our explorer guy, and then maybe this character over here, maybe he's the computer guy, so we're going to give him some glasses, but we don't need a lot of detail for him. Maybe he's got the cap on. His backpack on too. We're driving. This way, and then we have the female character over here. Let's give her some sort of cool haircut. She's rough and tough. She's got the whole gun belt going on here. Let's give her a double guns. She's here. She's got the fancy jacket. And there's our sort of introduction. We're doing a little bit of storytelling. We're doing a little bit of everything with this particular shot. Let's go ahead and here's some pillars in here. Keeping it simple. Boy, my markers are running out quick today, guys. So we're introducing these characters here. So let's give him some pants here. He's got his canteen, he's got his backpack. Okay, and then there we go. We got a little bit of character introductions here. So we have 3 different characters. We got our main hero here. We have the nerdy scientist. That's over here, got the glasses on. You can see his glasses over here, and then we got the double handgun bad mama over here for protection. Okay, so we have all those characters over here. So, like I said before, we had our first shot, establishing shot. Let me bring it down a little bit. Then we jumped into another wide angle shot. We're going into some sort of cave system or a tunnel system, and then we have them walking and peering, but there's some sort of character over here peering into them. You know, then we get a little bit more. This character that's peering into him isn't human. It's a humanoid, but it's got some sort of tail. We're seeing the close-up of the eyes, that creature looking on. Okay, and then we're cutting over here to introducing our characters here. Maybe there's one more shot with this particular character, and he drops back. Let's just say, and this is stuff when I'm doing when I'm storyboarding and when I'm thinking and stuff like that. Maybe the next panel, it's a black the character fading into some sort of black nothingness into the shadows. Okay, and then the other thing too is I was just thinking about this here too, is maybe we may need to have one more shot in here that we're sitting there playing with, and we're going, okay, cool, maybe we need that long shot now, and we're doing that master shot where we know that the one character's here. one character is here, and then the other character is back over here. And they both have their torches up in the air, and then we cut to that shot. Okay, maybe we needed one more shot there. And sometimes what I'll do is if I have a shot like this, I'll grab a pair of scissors or whatever and say, oh shoot, I forgot about that. Or I'll grab a post-it note or something and I'll change it up. You know, this is just my thinking work. This is when I'm putting these things together, and maybe there was one other shot. So I'll go over there and I'll say, maybe that character, like I said before, here's that thing. Maybe you see them and maybe just the eye. Or whatever it is that character is sulking back into the shadows, you know, in terms of what we're doing. And maybe I'll add that other shot in there of them walking in there too. So maybe I'll have to add that shot in there of the characters. You know, here's that master shot we were talking about, and maybe we have that one character here. Showing that trail, and maybe I have to draw that shot in there real quick where you got the female character here. She's got her flame, and then we have our scientist. He's in the rear, backing up the rear. Maybe he's scanning something. He's got his torch up. As we're in the fire is showing that pattern, so we can do a couple things in here to show this. Okay, so there might have been a couple more shots that we needed to add in there, and that's where, you know, drawing like this, and I would just tape that one on there, or just get a new page, put those 2 new shots on there, and you know, we call that a day if we're trying to add those 2 more shots. This is just my thinking. This is you know, putting this stuff together. I was looking for some tape. I'm gonna put tape on the desk somewhere. I did have it. There it is. And maybe I'll just go grab some tape, throw it on a new page. And as you can see, as we're doing this and we're working on this, guys, everything is really simple, right? So now we have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8. Okay, 8 panels or 8 frames and 8 shots in this so far that we've been hanging out together. Let's do a little quick time check here. What time do we have? Because we're having a good time here. I got 12. Okay, we've been going for a little bit. Let's do a few more frames to tell this story and have some fun. I hope everybody's out there. We still got a lot of people watching. Thank you so much for watching. And any questions, go ahead, throw them into the chat real quick as we're going along. But let's get a couple more frames drawn real quick. Okay, so we got our characters. And let's just say that creature, let's go back to that creature. We haven't exposed that creature yet. And maybe there's that pillar there still with that creature. And maybe that creature's on the wall or whatever, and we know something is big, and we see the tail of the creature. And maybe there's some sort of something dropped or something like that, you know what I mean? Or maybe some of the rocks fell as the creature was slithering back into the and then let's get a close-up of the ground. That stuff is falling, and maybe there's some sort of splash there. there was some sort of splash on the ground and some sort of puddle system there. Okay, and maybe something's there, you know, and something splashed right there. There's some sort of rocks or something. And it splashed down, okay, making a sound. And that's going to bother our explorers. Okay, so maybe something, like I said, splashed down. We have our creature here sulking behind that pillar. His tail was moving back in. Something fell. They made some sort of plop sound. Right there, boom. Yeah, it made a splash, made some sort of sound. This stuff is falling. It's falling down. Goes like this. Psh, make some sort of splash there real quick. Okay, so now we're going to get the attention of our explorers. Hope you guys are having fun with this. We're just sort of on the fly. Nothing's been prepared. We're just going at it. Just having some fun with this as we're sort of traditionally drawing, having this jam session. Let me take a quick sip of my beverage. I got some sparkly water. Give me a second here. Okay, let's continue going. Okay, so right now we have the scene sort of set up. Creature went behind something, and now we're going to have some sort of reaction. And let's swing the camera around, and let's have some fun with this. Let's say that our character here marker sounds. Let's get that scientist guy. Let's have some fun with him. Now he's nervous. Give him some glasses. Let's have some fun with him. And maybe he turned his head. You know, he's looking this way. We're also gonna, you know, what we could do. We could have done it before I started drawing him too. But what I'm thinking is, let's get that Dutch angle in there. Let's get that Dutch angle because things aren't quite right in Denmark. So that's a great time, and this is the way I'm thinking all the time. And you know, how do we use our different shots? You know, we were talking about close up, wide, you know, insert, etc. We're talking about our dynamics of our movement of our camera. I think we threw a pan in there so far. We could tilt down on this particular shot here. We could say the camera is going to tilt down, so that camera is going to go down to get that shot from when the creature is going behind the pillar and the rocks or whatever are splashing down into the water puddle there. It also gives you some sound, you know, too. So you hear that, you know, maybe this system has got a lot of puddles and things like that. So you hear that bloop, 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 you know, sound of dripping. So right now we have our scientist tweaking out right now, you know, and we don't know what the heck is going on. He doesn't know what's going on, and that's where we're giving him a lot of detail right now. And he's in the focus frame. The other thing too, we can do a few things with this shot too, and we can have some fun with it. And he's got his backpack on. Maybe you see his flashlight, whatever gear he's got right there. You know, on top of what he's doing, he spins around. We have a Dutch angle going on. Maybe one other thing we do with it too is we could do a rack focus where, you know, maybe there's two shots of this where he's in focus, and then you know, we have our female character here, and she's trying to figure out what's going on here. And then we had further up in that temple structure, we had the hero. That hero character in there too. So we're trying to tell the story. Everybody's turned around. Everybody's facing, you know, towards the scientist. She had the double guns. You know, I mean, we got all this stuff going on here. We have the steps of everything. We have the fire pits. We have all the same stuff there. And he spins around. And maybe we do the rack focus on the other two characters real quick. So we have him. So we're just going to identify him just with his shape here, because the rack focus is going to be on our other two characters. And they're trying to figure out what's going on here. There we go. Okay. And maybe the focus is on these guys now. And they're looking on. So we did a rack focus. We started with him. The focus is on this character, and these guys are blurred out, and then he's blurred out, and the focus is on these two characters. And what would be sort of cool with this shot is we want to show that they're scared, so we want to see some reactions. Maybe they're not scared, but they show their certain personality. Like this character is freaking out, and then what we could do here is our next shot. What we can do is take these guys here and zoom into these two characters to get how are they going to react to that crazy sound. So, and I think what would be funny is it's just going to be two up here, and instead of them being freaked out, you know, or scared like the scientist, we're going to do a cowboy shot. We're going to zoom into a cowboy shot. And remember, a cowboy shot, you're going to go to where the hip where the guns are. So we want to be able to see that in our female character here. Let's see here, like this. Maybe she's ready to go. Locked and loaded. She's got her guns here. We're sort of zooming in. We're just sort of sketching out. We're not trying to do anything fancy. We're just showing that she's getting ready to go. Maybe she's happy that she gets to shoot something up. Okay, and then you have the other character in the back, the hero character that's behind. And maybe he's got the shotgun or some sort of gun. He's got the hero shot here. On those steps. So we can have some fun with that. You know what I mean? So we have the characters here. He's scared. We zoom in, or we're doing the rack focus. Then we do either a whip zoom, or you know, we dial it in real quick, and we see him back over here. He's got the machine gun ready to go, or whatever, and then she's got her guns ready to go over here. So let's stop right there, but we got the idea of what we're doing. So we're having some fun with it too, and you know, maybe the next shot we see as we're going through this sequence, and real quick, again, we're having some fun with this for all these boards we've created so far. Okay, so let's sort of tell our story that we're doing together tonight. So we have the establishing shot, another wide shot coming in. We're in a temple system. We have statues. We have everything going on there. We have some torches, things like that. We see that there's 3 explorers going into the system. They're continuing to walk up into the system itself. There's some sort of creature over here waiting in the sides. We have that creature a little bit more here, and we know it's not human. It's some sort of reptilian type of creature here. We see the creature looking. We added a couple more quick little shots we sort of taped into it, where the creature's gonna fall back into the shadow. We sort of have a master shot of our characters, you know, as we're walking through the chamber, just real quick and simple. And then then we get the close-up of our hero. We have a scientist. We get a little bit of character design, and we're telling the story. We got the hero studly looking. We got the scientist brainy with the glasses, and then we got the gun-toting femme fatale over here. That creature, when it was sliding back, we cut back over to the creature. Maybe the walls or the pillars are falling apart. Drop some of the pillar splashes into the pond or the puddle there. The scientist dramatically turns. He's in focus. The other 2 are out of focus. Then all of a sudden we do a rack focus. We see that there are 2, and then we do a quick zoom in onto them, and we see that they're ready to fight. They got their guns are ready to get drawn. They got a machine gun action going on here too. And what's next? What happens next? So here tonight, folks, we're having a good time. We're sitting here telling some stories, doing some storyboarding, using some old school tools or traditional tools. We're not using any type of computer systems and things like that. We're just telling stories and having fun with this, and I hope you're getting a lot out of this. I hope you're drawing as well with me. I know a few of you, Barat, and a few of you guys were Diego. Everybody's working or drawing as we're going along. But let's draw a couple more frames and sort of call it a night soon. I got to get back to work in just a few hours here. So let's get this back over here. Let's get this going. So I'm sort of thinking like, well, what's next? What's next is going to happen to these folks? And let's sort of. I'm just sort of thinking what would be sort of cool is how about we do. We were talking about camera movements. So let's get one frame here and one frame here. So this is a double frame. Okay. So here's our two picture frames here. Okay. And I'm trying to figure out what we want to do here. Okay. So, but let's show what the heck is going on. So we know we're going to do we're going to have some sort of Dutch angle going on here. So we're going to go like this because we know things are warped. You're trying to tell the audience, hey, things aren't all right in Denmark. What's going on? Okay, and let's do this as a perspective here. So let's get this grid out like that. Okay. Let's go like that. Okay. And this is a single perspective, 1 point perspective. Okay, we knew right here we had our chamber that our folks were trying to walk into. We're going to represent them because we were talking about the basics of composition a few live sessions ago. So all we're doing is drawing the dots of where these folks are in relationship to everything. We had those temple fires. Maybe they were walking up the staircase to get over there. They got their guns drawn, okay? And what we're doing here is we have this shot right here, and then this is our second shot here. And all we're doing is going from this shot, and we can either move the camera up and down, or we can zoom, pull back, because we want to show what the heck's going on. So let's get some more perspective in here, and let's get this like temple pillars here, or whatever it might be. Okay, and maybe we're going to expose all the creatures are going to come out now. Okay, we're going to come out with all the creatures, and maybe we even do it more. We're going to get them tunneled in. We're going to get them boxed in. We're going to trap them, in terms of all these creatures. So, and what we might do, let me see how we're going to do this. Okay, so maybe what we have is maybe all these creatures are on the pillars. Maybe they have some sort of weapons or weaponry or something like that. So all these creatures thousands of them. You can have sort of fun with it. There's all these creatures all coming at them, and as you pull back or whatever, you're exposing all these creatures. And maybe we have the creatures on the wall, and they're even climbing on the walls. You know what I mean? They're everywhere as we're pulling back. So as we're pulling back, these creatures are coming everywhere. add our characters. Okay. I hope you're having fun with this as much as I'm having fun drawing it. We're making this up on the fly, just having some fun. Not using any type of script or anything, we're just sort of having fun with this. Have his tail here, the creature up on the wall. It's just an army of these creatures just coming at him. You have the pillars in there too, so they're just coming out of the woodwork. Diego's right when all these markers are just going crazy here. Okay, so there's sort of our shot that we're having fun with, and so remember that this is our beginning shot right here, shot number 1, and then this is the bigger shot. And we could either drop down, we can pull out, we can go from here, and we put our arrows to expose that it's going to become a massive horde of these creatures. So I hope you're having fun with this, and let's finally show this creature now. So the next shot I'm going to have is the creatures are going to yell out a terrifying scream or whatever. So let's do the money shot on this creature. So let's have some fun with it. Some sort of lizard type creature. We're just gonna have fun with it. It's gonna be super upset. Not happy at all. Give it some horns. Give it some crazy teeth. Get a little bit of detail here. Give it some drippage out of its mouth or whatever the heck it is. We're just having fun with this, trying to tell our story. Now we're finally exposing these creatures, and there's just thousands of those creatures just letting out that awful roar. Let's see if we can improve these eyes at all. Very angry. I don't want to go into too much detail with this creature, but we're just having fun with it. I hope you're having fun, everybody. Our creature's just screaming. They're all screaming. Okay, so our creature is screaming, and you know, we have the horde all screaming behind them. All the horde creatures are back there screaming too. They're gonna feast on our explorers, and you know what I mean. And so let's give one last shot. We could call this a night, having fun with this. Okay, so let's do our final shot. So the things are screaming, and you know we can even add one more quickie shot here, or maybe that's the king the king what do you call it, lizard man or whatever. Maybe he's the king. King Lizard or whatever, and he's got his horde of all of his characters. That'd be sort of funny. All the creatures are all over the place. Cool. Ronnie's over there designing a monster. That's awesome. I can't wait to see. You're gonna have to throw your picture up on the story or whatever. And then we can have even another creature. That same type of creature yelling over here. They're all going crazy. Whatever. Okay, so we're having fun with that. We can do something fun with that. I won't knock it out anymore. And then our final shot, we'll leave it as I think this has been a fun little assignment as we're doing this jam session, my friends. And so what I'm thinking in my head right now is let's finalize this with our last shot. And we'll just do it of a 3-shot. You know, we always, when we're doing characters and stories, it's always great to have, you know, odd numbers, you know, 1, 3, 5, 9, when you're starting to do groups. But let's get our heroes. Ready to lock and load, you know what I mean? It's like, let's just get them ready for battle. I'm thinking of Young Guns. Regulators! And let's get this shot done. And we have our hero here. He's locking and loading. He's got his caliber gun. We got the little bit closer. We got our female character here. Give her some cool hair. She's ready to go with her guns ablazing. We know she was a tough gal here. Okay, we have him. He's coming out here. Got her. Her inside that temple thing. Get the fire behind her. And then even our scientist that was a little bit closer to us. He's got his gun drawn. So they're all ready to lock and load. That's funny. Just finishing this up a little bit. They're ready to lock and load. Okay. And that's the final shot. So one more time from the top. Let's go through it real quick one more time. Having fun tonight, doing some old school traditional just drawing. And good like that. So we had some fun putting this sort of sequence together this evening, my friends. And I sincerely appreciate everybody joining me tonight. And I hope you had a good time so far. And I hope you're having a great night. Everybody here. So again, this is our story. So using typical tools. Okay, we just to recap real quick, we talked about some simple tips and tricks on using your sketchbooks, do your drawings, continue those sketch all the time. We talked about a cheat using a small business card, and in your sketchbook, just trace that business card on there, and that'll give you your panels. Or use my idea too is a post-it note, have that on there, draw your panel, and then you could travel anywhere with your sketchbook ready to do these type of sketches. We use simple tools. We used Sharpies, Bic pens. That was all the tools that we needed, and and just use some basic copy paper. Okay, with those tools, we created our sequence here. We have an establishing shot, extreme wide, that we're going into this sort of cavern system. We have another wide shot where we see that there's 3 actual characters. That first shot with the extreme wide shot, we were talking about statues and pillars and sort of temple sort of organization. And this is all of our thinking boards. Then we go into the second shot, which is another wide shot. We're going into some sort of cavern system. This character here, you have 2 others here. They're walking still into the cavern system in this shot, and then we see someone or something over here lurking in the shadows. We do a reverse on that particular, or another shot from that shot, looking behind our characters that are in the background here, and in the foreground we have some sort of reptilian creature here. It's looking at our explorers. We threw in a couple extra shots in here in which we did it like this, where that creature sulks back and drops into the shadow, and then we sort of have like a master shot of our 3 characters walking into the temple system. We are showing them walking because we see the flames of their torches bending as they're walking. We get our first character development shot here on this particular page, where we have our main hero, tough guy with a nice trim beard and mustache. You know, maybe this is played by Stallone, or it's played by Jason Statham or somebody like that. You have your scientist, nerdy character over here, and you have your gun-toting femme fatale on the side. Okay, we go back to our creature that was sulking behind the pillar. The pillar is falling apart because it's aged, and a couple of the stones fall off the pillar, making a plop sound into the puddle below. The scientist turns his head with the, we were talking about our rack focus, so he's in focus. These characters are not in focus. We have we have the character turn around, scared, and trying to find out what's going on. We go into a quick close-up of our other 2 characters. We did the rack focus at the same time, and we're going to see their reaction. Their reaction is, well, I'm going to take action. Yeah, where this person's personality came out. Now you got the personality of these two. It's lock and load time. Then we go into our shot here, in which our shot we have our explorers in the background, and we either pull out of that sequence, showing that there is a horde of all these reptilian creatures right here, and that's like the money shot. Oh my God, there's all these creatures here coming after our explorers. Then we go into the close-up when we're exposed to the creature for the first time, some sort of lizard, zombie, whatever it is, just going this drool and everything coming out of its mouth with a terrifying shriek. We come back and we see that the horde is gigantic. There's creatures are everywhere. It's the king of the horde of all these creatures. They all have sort of primitive weapons and things like that. And we go to our final shot for our cliffhanger for tonight, where we have our hero in center stage, and then we have our gun-toting femme fatale here and our scientist here. Everybody's locked and loaded, ready to take on the battle, and we're gonna cut the sequence, or the sequence, the scene right there. For this particular storyboard session. Again, I appreciate everybody joining me. Please don't forget to like. Please don't forget to leave me a comment. We were talking about drawing ideas and things like that. I know Ronnie, I know a few of you guys were saying, hey, listen, I'd like to go over some more drawing assignments and things like that. Don't forget to subscribe. It lets me know that you're enjoying what we're doing together. I'm having a good time with you too, as we're learning and engaging together. Please take the time to share this out. Please share this link with your friends or others that are interested in filmmaking, interested in storyboarding, telling visual storyboards in terms of what we're doing here. That means a lot to me. A couple of you even shouted out you'd like to see a sketchbook, or and possibly have a book for purchase there too. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you guys. So Ronnie, Barat, Diego, Tran, Eric, everybody, Galcaf, Maria, everybody. I really sincerely appreciate you joining the stream tonight. I'll probably try to stream again on Saturday. I know I have to work late on Saturday, but maybe when I get home we can put something together real quick and meet up again. I'm having a good time with you folks, and I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to hang out with old Polly here and have a good time. So I hope you learned a lot. I hope this was a great lesson. I had some fun doing this too. We'll do the other process on the computer too, so we can go both ways and have some fun. But other than that, you folks have a great night. Keep drawing, keep sketching, keep getting better every day, and I look forward to seeing you all in our next live stream. Take care and have a great night.